Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody else, welcome. My name's John Paval, and I'm here with this week's Access Arts Live roundup of chamber music live streams online for the week of June 9th to June 16th. I was doing great until I had to clear my throat. Anyway, look, before I say anything else, if you are a Chopin lover, get off of this live stream and go directly to the St. Mary's Perivale channel on YouTube and see if Diana Cooper is still playing Chopin, because she's a Chopin specialist. And today, starting at 3 o'clock, which is an hour ago, she was starting European time. She was starting up a Chopin recital with just a lovely list of Chopin pieces. And St. Mary's Perivale is always high quality. And she's a multiple prize winner who's worked in France with Gauthier Capuçon. And anybody who's done that is probably really tops. And graduated from the Paris Conservatory and the Alfred Cortel School, and also the Royal College of Music in London. So she's the bee's knees. Go right over that and enjoy that. You can come back and watch this live stream, in a replay. This is not a performance. Well, not that kind of performance anyway. Anyway, we have otherwise getting down to what we have for you this week. We have very classical live streams. We have early music live streams with like all kinds of recorders. And we also have very now music coming up on the weekend. So it's a lovely week for every taste when it comes to what you could call chamber music then and now. So let's get right to it. And let me take down this picture of everybody and instead give you a picture of somebody. And in this case, of somebody who's going to be performing later today, Tuesday, June 10th. And she's a percussionist. June 10th, Roulette Intermedium live streams percussionist and Roulette Intermedium artist in residence, Nava Dunkelman, performing Arrhythmia, an audiovisual collaboration with a visual artist, a movement artist, and a costume designer. And I'll tell you all about them in a moment. That'll be at 8 o'clock in the evening, New York City time, which is where Roulette Intermedium is, 5 o'clock on the West Coast, 2 o'clock in the morning in Europe, and 10 o'clock Wednesday morning down under in Australia. This would cost you $25 to $30 to attend in person, and you get it for free. This is the different people she's working with are, well, first let me tell you a little bit about Nava Dunkelman, what this piece is. Arrhythmia is about, well, she's a percussionist, and it's a piece about, quote unquote, the fragile rhythm of life, suspended between steadiness and instability. There, okay? And she's working with, let me tell you about her. I keep getting off track here. Gotta calm down here. I get so excited. She's based, Nava Dunkelman is based in Brooklyn, New York, born in Tokyo, Japan, raised by an American father and an Indonesian mother. So not Japanese at all, but from Japan. And she works on electro percussion, experimental noise. She's got a percussion duo called Noman with her sister Shayna Dunkelman. She's worked with classical groups like the William Winant Percussion Group, the Raven Chacon, the San Francisco Girls Chorus, the San Francisco Contemporary Music Players, people like that. She got a Create Award from the American Composers Forum in 2023 and the New Music USA Creator Development Fund Award in 2022. She's worked with people like Angelica Negron, Brandon Seabrook, Du Yoon, Fred Firth, John Zorn, if those names mean anything to you. I'm not a now music expert, but I'm happy to bring now music to you. Maria Taucucci is the composer and audio-visual artist working with her, and she creates what she thinks of as sonic visual poems, using things like the sound textures created by water and dry leaves and shells. Then there's Yoko Murakami, and she's Tokyo-born and New York City-based. She's Japanese with that name. And she creates movement-based work in site-specific installations and does experimental films. And then the last of the four is Akiya Yamakami, who was born in Nagano Prefecture in Japan, 1984, and she creates soft sculpture works with print and cloth on the theme of the human body. She's been working with dance projects for about 15 years now and also makes dance costumes. So this work is a product of Nava Dunkelman's Roulette residency in this past year. So if you want to see what she came up with and what all four of them come up with working together, here's your chance. Coming up next then, I think we move back to a much more traditional trio, and that's sort of the theme of this work, is going from modern to early or from modern to classical. Thursday, June 12th, St. Mary's Perivale live streams the Calathea String Quartet playing Haydn, Caroline Shaw, and Edvard Grieg. That's pretty classical. That'll be at their usual 3 o'clock in the afternoon Thursday time slot, 9 in the morning on the East Coast, 6 in the morning on the West Coast, and 11 p.m. down under in Australia. That's Haydn String Quartet in D minor, Opus 76, number 2, the fifth. Caroline Shaw's Valencia, that's a short piece, like 6 or 7 minutes. And Grieg String Quartet number 1 in G minor, Opus 27. The Calathea Quartet, when I looked up their photos, I came up with, did I put up the photo for you? Yeah. They've got a guy in it now on the cello, but I came up with other photos from other times when they had just 4 women. So I think the membership has changed, but they have members from New Zealand, Australia, Ireland, and England. So it's a real British Commonwealth kind of a thing. They all met at the Royal College of Music about 4 or 5 years ago while they were doing postgraduate work already, so they weren't kids. They've won a couple prizes. The first prize in the RAM Historical Women Composers competition in 2021, and also second prize in the RAM Wolfenson String Quartet competition in 2021. And they're very much focused on women composers, even if they have brought in at least one guy to play with them. Then we move even further back in time to early music as we move to Thursday and the usual Midtown Concerts brought to you by the Gotham early music scene, which always brings some fine people. Thursday, June 12th, Midtown Concerts brings you the Boreas Quartett Bremen, playing recorded music from medieval to modern times, including Bach, William Byrd, Hostler, and contemporary composer Piet Switz. That'll be at their usual time, 1:15 p.m. on the East Coast, 10:15 in the morning on the West Coast, and 7:15 in the evening here in Europe. They say this will be music from the heyday of the consort. Recorded music from medieval to modern times, including work by Bach, Byrd, and Hans Leo Hostler, but also some contemporary pieces. And once again, this is just confirming what I've been noticing, which is that you get people who are interested in early music who are also interested in very contemporary music, and vice versa. It's like they're bookending everything that happened in between to try to get out of it. So they play over 40 flutes and recorders of different sizes, including a 12-part Renaissance consort. They all studied. Why is it called the Boreas Quartett Bremen? Because they all studied at the Akademie für Alte Musik in Bremen, the Academy for Ancient or Early Music in Bremen. And they've played around in Europe, Germany, Austria, the Netherlands, Czech Republic, etc. And they've also played at the International Recorder Festival in Taiwan. So they are Jinju Baek, who's from South Korea. Alithia Champollion, she's appears to be French. Julia Fritz, who won the 8th International Telemann competition in 2015, and she used to teach. She does a lot of teaching, and Louise Mansky, who studied in Bremen and in Basel, the recorder and the historical Basel. So that's what the Midtown Concerts bring you. They always bring you quality concerts. After we get past Thursday, then there's one more very classical live stream that we can tell you about. And this is from these are the National Symphony Orchestra. On a regular basis, they will have individual members. There's a whole group. There's a separate webpage for musicians of the National Symphony Orchestra, and small groups of them will do free concerts on the Millennium stage at the Kennedy Center, and they're free of charge to the public, not just as live streams. So they're standing room only. And this time it's Marissa Regni on the violin. She's the principal second violin of the NSO since 1996. And she's also in the Manchester String Quartet. Then the second violin is Benjamin Scott. He was an NSO Youth Fellow of the NSO, and then went on to join it, got a bachelor and master's at the New England Conservatory. Lauren Scott on the viola. She plays freelances with the Maryland Lyric Opera, the Baltimore Symphony, the Delaware Symphony, etc. And Mark Evans on the cello, and he's been with the National Symphony Orchestra since 1998. So these are all veteran expert players. They'll be playing Erwin Schulhoff's String Quartet No. 1. I've never heard of Erwin Schulhoff, so that would be a discovery for me. Dvořák String Quartet No. 10 in E-flat major, Opus 51, and Musetta's Waltz from La Bohème, Puccini's opera La Bohème, as arranged by Lauren Scott, the violist. So that sounds like it could be a lovely evening. Let me give you the time. It's 6 o'clock on Friday evening on the East Coast, 3 o'clock on the West Coast, midnight here in Europe, but midnight's a lovely time to hear chamber music like that, or 8 o'clock Sunday morning down under in Australia, if you are what the French would call matinal, a morning person. And now we get to the now music this weekend. We have 2 more live streams to tell you about there. But if you don't like now music, you might as well hang out now, because this will be very now music. And I think the first of them is with the Wet Ink Ensemble, if you can believe that. Friday, June 13th, Roulette Intermedium live streams the New York composer-performer collective Wet Ink Ensemble, premiering compositions from their artist-in-residence program, including Gelsey Bell, Ben Lamar Gay, and Carolyn Chen. Very now music. This will be at 8 o'clock New York time, 5 o'clock at LA time on the West Coast, 2 o'clock in the morning in Europe, 10 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning, down under in Australia. Again, this would cost you $25, $30 to attend in person. You get it for free. Wet Ink Ensemble is a group of about 8 core members. And what they do is they commission new works from other artists. And they also have an artist-in-residence program. And so the 3 artists in residence, their music is going to get played today. The first of them is Gelsey Bell. Do I have their picture up for you? No, I haven't put up the pictures of them. Let me put up the picture that shows you actually the 3 artists in residence. I have another time. I have this one. I saw this one coming. There you go. That's Gelsey Bell is the one in the middle there. So Gelsey Bell, she created a piece called Archaeopteryx for 2 voices, saxophone, violin, cello, and percussion. What is a daxophone? A daxophone is an electric wooden experimental musical instrument of the friction idiophones category, according to Wikipedia. If you would like to see a picture of it, I can add on a picture of a daxophone for you here, so you would still see the others. Well, I have two pictures of daxophones, and I'm not sure which one is it. Here's one picture of a daxophone. All right, but here's another picture of a daxophone. So honestly, I'm really not sure. But anyway, one of these kinds of specialized instruments will be used in the piece that they are doing by Gelsey Bell. Then they will do a piece by Carolyn Chen. She's the happy face on the right, called Talk to Me, for voice, flute, piano, violin, and cello. And they'll finish up with Ben Lamar Gay's Feet Lift Dust, for cornet, flute, saxophone, percussion, piano, and electronics. And it'll be played by a whole ensemble, which includes flute, tenor, saxophone, percussion, piano, violin, cello, electronics, and voice. And as I said, this Wet 8 group there's an octet, like 8 members who are the key members, and most of them will be playing in this concert. If now music is your thing, this is as now as it gets. But that's not all. We have even more now music, if you can believe that, coming up after this one. And it's the last one that we have for you this week. It's created by this group called Moment to Moment. Okay. Saturday, June 14th, Constellation Chicago live streams Moment to Moment, playing a 60-minute improvisational set of rhythms, eclectic visual elements, voice, and vocals. This is the kind of performance where you just say, well, show up or blow up. I don't know what it is. And there is no real explanation of what it is. I will tell you that when we give you the links, it will include a link where you can see it for free on YouTube, but they do ask you, in order to pay the performers, to pony up and buy a ticket. We'll give you the link to buy the ticket for $10.56 US dollars. Moment to Moment is a collective of artists that includes Hamid Drake, Joshua Abrams, Lisa Alvarado, Michael Zarang, and Zara Baker. And they're going to do an improvisational set for 60 minutes. And I don't know what it's going to be, but it will be very now, because they're going to make it up as they go along. This started as a group of conversations a few years ago, participating in a research project with a Dr. Ananda Marin at UCLA. I don't know more about what that research project was. And they're putting together their personal and collective experiences, and they're going to improvise on them. They're going to make something up for you in the moment. So if you like really now music, well, this is really now music. It couldn't be any more now. It will not have existed before they perform. And let me tell you this, it won't exist when they're done performing. Don't fool yourself into thinking that when you watch a recording, you're sharing something with the artist. They're gone. They've gone fishing. They're visiting family. They're eating chicken. Who knows what? Maybe they're dead. You don't have any connection with them, nor are you together with any audience. There isn't any audience. There's just you. It's like reading a book all by yourself. In fact, recordings are really just an advanced form of literature. You know, a book that you can take down from the shelf and read all by yourself anytime, and the book never changes, just as the recording never changes. A live performance is not that. When you tune into these live streams, you're sharing an experience in the moment that these performers are creating for you. They're pouring their heart, minds, and souls into creating this experience to share with you and with the people in the in-person audience. And more often, you'll see at the beginning of some of the live streams, the artist, if they're having an introductory section where they're talking to the audience, they will in advance thank the live stream audience or talk to the live stream audience. So we're a part of it. And when I see a great performance, I'm I'm not just thinking of myself. I'm looking around at the audience. I'm seeing, because I'm an old town actor and singer myself, so I'm always looking at audiences, you know, but as a performer, and I'm just thinking, well, there are 800 people here, at the Stockholm Royal Phil. What if this was 800,000? Hundreds of millions watch this terrific French pianist playing Ravel Jet d'eau, water fountains, in the rain, coming down on him on a bridge over the River Seine with the water beneath him, the water coming down on him, and he's playing it, and hundreds of millions of people saw it. This was during the closing of the Olympics, and everybody adored it. Do we have to throw an Olympics to get 100 million people to tune in? Just think if we could have millions of people sharing what we're feeling when we're enjoying these performances. And the more of us tune into live streams, the more we start building out that live on-stream audience. Folks, that's all we have for you for this week. I just want to remind you before I go, as I always do, if you stumble upon this video on Facebook, please like the video. And if you see us on any of our other 6 platforms, please follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live on YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and or LinkedIn, or all of them. And we will continue to provide you with more than 1,000 live links to live performances online in the coming year. Well, that brings to an end the 3 live streams that I do each week on Monday and Tuesday. The big stage live streams, opera and orchestral works and ballet. The organ recitals, which I did a couple hours ago, and now the chamber music work around the world. I hope that one, more, some, or any of these pieces inspire you, uplift you, or just show you a heck of a good time. And maybe you'll figure out what saxophone is one of these days too. So all I can say now is ciao for now. I love bringing this kind of stuff to you, and I hope it brings some meaning and joy to your heart. I'll be back in Stockholm later this week. So when I come back on Friday to do the highlights of the weekend, that's where I'll be live streaming from. Ciao for now.